to return unto the annoying things tier list. You will hear the crackling and popping of fire in the background because rather than just sitting here dumbly in front of a in front of a very rarely moving tier list, I'm actually playing PAX Day with Harley at the moment, so we'll be having that going in the background. So that the screen and myself are not completely inert. We're joined by Harley and Zindy today, as is usually the case. I need to make a new playlist for it instead of just using Vent. The Vent playlist. And since I cannot change anything prior to going live, I have to change it afterwards. After going live. Not a fun system to interact with. There we go. Okay. Excellent. Alright, so we've gotten a good number of suggestions since the last time we did this. Where I posted a short, and in that short, I got comments dictating a few things people would like to see. So we'll get into those first, and then continue from there. Let me find the tier list that I was using. All of every stream, every single stream. Yep, I'm getting spammed right now with 1,000 messages. As soon as I go live, everyone on Earth suddenly decides to talk to me. I've been sitting here all day long without getting a single message, but the moment that I hit a live button, now I'm Mr. Popular, and it's every time. I just don't understand. Alright. See if I can find what happened to the tier list image that we were using. I think it's in here. Yes, here we go. Alright, this is where we were. And let me get myself out of the way here. Yeah, this is what we were working with originally. And we will expand upon this. I don't remember some of this stuff. I think this is like things getting in your eye, election season, scratch glasses, indigestion, Skibbity Christian Bale? I don't remember this. Being bored when your sports team loses, the language barrier, heat, maybe? But can't hear you as you're muted in the channel with us. Yes, I am. I'm introducing. I'm introducing the picking up where we left off from. I will undeafen momentarily. Be patient. So let me go back to the channel so I can bring up the comment section from the previous short. So we can see where we're starting out at. What we're going to be reviewing first. The comments for the annoying tier list short. The hem on your pants wearing out. This is a very deep comment with a whole lot of stuff. Things that siblings don't. Things that siblings say that they didn't like. That's what you sound like right now. Okay, okay. Getting a hangnail, which I thought was on the list already, but it wasn't. Stubbing your toe, which we already did. Your RC plane controls being broken, which is slightly goofalicious. The tip of your reed for your instrument chipping, which was cool. I like that suggestion. Bad haircut and someone else eating your leftovers. What do you think? Someone for a compliment and they respond with "you're welcome." Which this one took a little bit of thinking to figure out exactly where this would become annoying. And I guess it's a condescension thing. At least that's what it feels like Tadbit Cold was trying to indicate here, what he's trying to get across. So we'll go into that. When you're asked to do something, when you were going to do it anyways, when your nail rips off, and when someone corrects you after you correct yourself, which is another condescension thing. So we got a lot of good suggestions here, and we're going to get to all of them in the stream. So let me set this over here on the other monitor again. And we'll get into it. We shall begin momentarily. I do need to undeafen so that Tons of Fun and Little Buddy can hear me. I have returned.
Welcome back.
So we're going to be starting off with the comments from the previous short.
Alrighty.
And ranking them starting from there. When someone corrects you after you correct yourself. Is
What, so they just
suggestion
correct
from
you for no reason?
Brady McBlocks, where you already know what you did wrong, and so you're like, okay, well, I need to do something different going forward. And then the person's like, yeah, you need to do that thing different going forward.
You do that a lot, but it's also you being facetious, so it's funny.
Okay,
Allow
thanks. Thanks. So you're telling me that I'm a bad friend?
In the general gist of it.
Yeah,
I'm
usually the one
I'm usually the one you're telling that I did something wrong.
yeah. I mean, you usually did something wrong. Yeah. Okay, well, I was hoping y'all would continue to say things so that I could continue to correct you.
We're just kind of used to your bullcrap.
Okay, all right, they're great. All right, this is going to be a great episode, isn't it? Yep, already starting with that. I mean, this is something that I don't face very often in day-to-day life.
You face it plenty. What are you talking about?
Not in day-to-day life. What? Do you live with me? Would
Okay.
you know?
Oh, yeah, no. You don't.
You
face
absolute
it day-to-day
ass clown.
life. You don't face it on your day-to-day life.
No, thank you for agreeing with what I already assessed about my own life. Yes, appreciate
Every
that.
other day.
So, at work, really doesn't happen much either. Would you like to disagree, Harley?
No,
Okay. All right.
I would, but I'm not at your work, so I don't know.
you would. you would.
You would be the one that disagrees with that. So, I don't have much experience with it, but I mean, I can remember times when I've absolutely wanted to pull someone's hair out because, yes, I know I was wrong about something. You are not God. Don't look down your long banana nose at me and tell me what I should have done differently after I already made the assessment and the self-correction, as if you're better than me. Kind of a situation. That's what that feels like, at least to me. And I feel like that's also what the author of this comment was trying to get across. Harley.
When people do that, it's kind of a telling of their personality. Like they're very snarky or whatever. So
Very full of
I kind
themselves.
of just brush it off as like, oh, whatever.
I find it amusing and annoying at the same time when somebody does it, like they do the same thing you just did, and you've already acknowledged that it was wrong, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, you did that wrong," and I'm like, "Well, what about you? like you did it too. Just shut up." I don't know. It's more of it's a minor in annoyance, I think.
Yep, that's what this tier list is about. It is annoyances.
But a minor one, not a major one.
So
Yeah,
something that
that's
would go, something that
like
would
a
land below the F tier, hopefully, thankfully, because our F tier is getting so fat. Let me look back at the tier list here. Look
These
at
are
the
just
F tier.
annoying.
This is the only one that we've actually had to reduce the size of the icons to fit the thing in.
I can't tell. I can't tell what's on your tier list because you got Harley's screen popped up there.
Huh?
What?
You had Harley's screen popped up on the Twitch feed.
No, I didn't. That was my own screen.
Oh,
Yes. All right. So yeah, with somebody correcting you whenever you've already corrected yourself, it doesn't happen very often. When it does happen, I want to drop an anvil on someone. Comedically. Maybe even paint a little black circle on the side of a mountain so that they run into it thinking it's a tunnel. Like there's 1,000 evil emotions that go through me whenever someone indicates that they view themselves as being inherently better than me. That makes me violently angry. Now, that's a me thing. I don't. I don't like people who are fake humble, but I also don't like the haughty look. You know, the person that makes like their pride is their entire personality. Because I mean, you see that a lot in churches. One of the main things that drove me away from churches and attending church was the animosity and the angst and the belief that God elected them to be the smarter and the better people, and that everybody that isn't them is the unwashen masses. That's the attitude that I saw in churches a lot, and that's where most of my experience with this particular gripe came from. Um, where if I would like open up to somebody about something that I'd done that I felt was a sin, or that I felt like hampered my relationship with God, and I'm like going through the story and like making myself vulnerable to this person, which is something that you don't do with people who attend churches, and trying to discuss the path that I took to what I believed was self-improvement, and them making sure to reaffirm every single moment of the time that I am spending with them that I was a dumbass and I should feel ashamed. That that's my experience with this gripe. So, left to my own devices, I would put this pretty high on the list. But Harley said he lets it go, like roll off his back. So it must not bother you that much, not as much as it bothers me.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it really puts any stones in my day. It's just kind of whatever. People are annoying anyway. They have their own category for me personally, so I just kind of put a list on that subcategory.
I think the problem with a lot of, well, that I've seen, at least out in the real world and even in the church world, is that
Church world.
well, I'm going to be honest with you. There a lot of people go in there and they look at it as two different things. They go in and they go, okay, I'm a holy pious Christian, and I'm gonna completely be good for Sunday, but then I'm gonna go back to my horrible life the next, for the rest of the week, and I'm just gonna be a horrible person for the rest of the week. But it's okay. I'm okay because I'm going to church and getting rid of that sin on one day. Well, that's not what that's about anyway. But you're not supposed to judge people. Basically, even like pastors, and they're supposed to be your friends. They're supposed to be helping you out in situations that you don't understand, not judging you. And the problem is that people get judgy, and they try to take on the mantle of God in that situation with church, when they don't need to be taking the mantle of God. They just need to be a friend, and they need to be listening and talking you through, helping you get through a situation, possibly not making you feel stupid about what you did. In the real world, it's it can get annoying because people they think that they know how to run your life, or they know how to run your situation, or what they would do in your situation, and then they want to talk to you like you're stupid, rather than just, once again, just being a friend. I mean, it's easy just to be somebody's friend and listen sometimes, and just help them out, rather than being a I'm sorry, Rain, I'm looking at the picture.
I am going to leave it.
Looking down on me with your picture.
I am going to leave it in its current crushed state. Oh no, I hit the wrong button. Crud.
Uh-oh.
Okay, hang on. Paste.
Your face is looking pretty wide there, Rain.
This is my magnum opus. I am not here. I need to edit it just a little bit. Keep going.
I will let you know that I was ordained as a minister, but I will not the reason why I have not picked up a church or anything is because congregations get, for me personally, when I look in there, they get too cliquey. They don't.
Yep.
They don't reach out. Like, they talk about mission trips and doing all this stuff. Well, that's great. You're doing mission trips over in Africa, but what about in your home? You're not helping people around your own home. Like, you don't want to help people with, there's a lot of people that are poor, a lot of people that need help.
And that kind of leads into the whole meme about how pastors' kids are the worst kids, kind of an idea, where, the pastor takes care of the flock of the church, but in his own home, like the kids are growing up to, like, in my experience, just from what I've seen out of churches, there's a lot of bad kids that came out of a pastor's family. I can think of two families just pop off the bat that I know that had a pastor at the helm, and one of them, the daughter, the youngest daughter, became a stripper, and the other one, the dude's wife cheated on him.
It's
And that's been the past two churches that I was in.
Yeah, a lot of times that's because a pastor or a church leader, they're putting on a show that's not themselves, and it's not how they really are in the real world. They're pious and holy inside of a church, but as soon as they walk out, they're no better than any. I mean, and that's the thing, is most people are no better than anybody else, and everybody's no better than anybody else, flat out. And the problem is a lot of pastors put themselves on a pedestal, saying that they're God's gift to whatever, but their children are seeing two different sides of that story, and they're seeing that rather than setting that example all the way around, they're just setting that example at church, and it's hypocrisy, basically.
I know that the Bible says, this stream doesn't have to become a Bible lesson. I realize that, but I realize the Bible says that where two or more people are gathered in God's name, God is there as well. God's presence is there as well. That's cool, and that's awesome. But I also feel like you go to church, you'll see the absolute worst thing, the worst iteration of what a quote-unquote child of God can become. And the best and biggest advertisement against Christianity is attending a church, because you will see just how big of a snake they can become. God himself, in my experience, is a pretty chill deity. Just don't get around people who believe in him, because they will make you, they will turn your opinion really quick. And it's not fair to God for them to represent him.
And I think the best way I've ever heard this put is religion is man-made.
Mm-hmm.
You put up your building, you put up the thing. Religion is man-made. It's not between you and God. That's something you built in order to kind of honor or whatever. But faith is a relationship between you and God, and only you and God know what that relationship is. And that's really, people really need to take it, that's nobody is ever going to know that. Somebody can say till they're blue in the face they're a Christian, or a Buddhist, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to hold true for Christianity. But whatever their religion is, whatever they believe in, they can say that they have a relationship. But in their hearts of hearts, they could just be saying that. They could just be saying that and not believe it.
I feel like this fairly belongs in B, because it's not something that you deal with often, but whenever you do have to face it, it really upsets me.
My biggest thing is the condemning of other people. Like when somebody doesn't believe what your morals are, mm-hmm. or what your interpretation of scripture or religious text are, and then you're trying to impose what your morality is, or how you translate it, which could be a totally wrong translation, because we all see how text messages work.
Yeah, they have a telephone.
Right, exactly. And it's I mean, you gotta take in consideration. Now, I'm not trying to knock anything down, but a lot of the scripture is taken from Greek or Arabic, and then it's translated into another language, and then it's translated into another language, and you ever take Google Translator and try translating stuff? You get things. Everything comes out right, but you're gonna get something that inevitably that's not translated correctly.
I mean, that's a whole nother can of worms. The idea of, is the Bible accurate as it's translated, and that's not what this is about. This is about this whole thing before we derailed it and made it our little rant on religion was somebody telling you, yes, you did something wrong, whenever you literally just admitted it and are also committing to fix it. The idea that a person is elevating themselves above you because of at least a projected display of pride and feeling of superiority above you from whatever perspective, be it moral, physical, doesn't matter. They are making you out to be an idiot and doing it for a self-gratifying reason and coming from a place of malevolence. So I do believe this belongs in B, and that's, I mean, we could sit here and talk for hours about Christianity and about doctrine and about churches and just how fucked the modern Christian church is, but that's another, that would definitely land on this list somewhere else. So I think it would be good to go ahead and place that in B and move on, unless y'all have anything else to add to that.
It's episode 5.
It's episode 5. Did I say episode 4?
No, the whole religion thing is episode 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. When your nail rips off. Talking about fingernails and talking about them going a little bit below, a little bit further than the white line, because your nail is divided into what? White, pink, and then white again as it goes into your finger. And it's like when your nail rips off, you think it goes past to the white and into the pink. It goes into the nail bed.
I have never once had my nail ripped like that.
Really?
And then it goes red because it's bleeding.
Yeah,
Man.
surely. Yeah.
Doesn't
I've never had a nail ripped off or anything like that. I've gotten it pretty badly stubbed or whatever to the point that it snaps or it cracks down the middle, but it's never ripped off like that.
Snaps,
That sounds
crackles, and
horrifying.
pops.
That's like a Saw movie thing, man. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't want to play Never Have I Ever, but I never have I ever had that happen. So.
Okay, well, fuck. I guess I'm the only one here.
The only closest I've had that is a hangnail, and it rips off the side, and then it bleeds. Like
Well, hangnails are wrong.
And that's coming up on the list, by the way. Hangnails are coming up. Yeah, my channel locks are tongue and groove pliers. Very important that I make sure that I've got the proper brand, because you can't just use any Mickey Mouse brand of channel locks. I don't use anything but the actual channel lock brand channel locks, because I have had my finger squished flatter than my feet by I don't remember the name. It was gray handles and like handle covers, and the tongue and groove mechanism just wasn't seating right. And I squished my fingers trying to tighten the coupling on a piece of 3/4 EMT. But it wasn't the squeezable handles, like the squishy rubber handle part that smashed my finger. It was the action itself. It was like my hand slipped because of how much pressure I was putting on it, and I'm in a really awkward angle, and I crushed the end of my middle finger on my right hand.
Ouch.
And it didn't just squish it, it actually gouged into the nail bed and cut my nail in half.
No.
And that took months to heal. And even though I feel like if I hadn't had cut-resistant gloves on at the time, it would have been exponentially worse. But even though I was wearing those cut-resistant gloves, it still did so much damage to the end of my finger. And it was sore for, like, every day. Just if I was breathing, it was sore. There was no way to make it feel better. It was around the clock. I feel like though, like people who bite their nails or pick at their nails probably have this a bit worse, and I don't think any. Did either of you ever bit your nails?
I used to pick and bite my nails a lot.
I mean, I've done it when I've had a hangnail, but.
And you didn't wind up tearing your nails, Harley?
Nope.
Huh. Okay, well maybe I'm just.
Once or
misinterpreting.
twice I've maybe bit them too deep because, stupid little kid moment.
Yep.
But, I mean, that gets pretty sensitive.
I mean, I used to bite my toenails, but I really didn't have any tearing.
That tasted good.
Okay, all right, nobody. Okay, thanks. Thank you for responding to that, Cindy. So yeah, I don't think it would be too pleasant. I know with that experience that was a bit extreme, and most people don't tear their nails like that. Most of the time, if you tear your nail, it's because of. I feel like it would be most of the time it would be because biting your nails, and then just overdoing it. I'm trying to remember because my mom has had torn nails before as well, because she keeps hers long, but I think it's usually from the kind of the same thing with with me and the channel locks. Just although hers would not be quite as horrible of an injury and not quite as forcible and of an impact to sever half of the nail off. And I feel like it's just usually from like closing them indoors or something lands on her hand, something to that effect. I know it's not pleasant, but I don't feel like a normal iteration of it that doesn't include traumatically squishing your hand in a tool would be constant round-the-clock pain. And having never experienced it in a less injurious way, I can't speak for it. I don't know what to rank this. I would put it an A just because I know it's not great, but I also know that under normal circumstances it's get overable.
I don't know. Wherever you want to put it, man.
Okay. All right. I have full creative control here. So I need to take a picture.
You have a picture of it?
No, but I'm going to make one. Let me.
Oh, you're gonna do it? Oh, I wouldn't do that. That's gonna hurt you for a couple of days.
Let's see. There's your finger. Okay. Do that for a second, so it's in the stream for a while. All right. Put my scissors back. That's going to be the picture. I didn't actually hurt myself, but I wanted to get a good picture.
Cutting your fingertip off?
No. Wouldn't dream of it. Content live. Live in control room. Open the preview.
And on this stream, Rain cuts his finger off.
No. Pause it right there. Print screen. No, why is the timeline in the way? Print screen. Blast. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
And then we go to paint again. And paste. There. Paste. Down here. And we move this part. Right about there. Up there. And then all of this goes away with the stroke of a square. Just like so. God, I'm good at Windows Paint. Do not try this at home. I am a professional.
Become a Windows graphic designer. Windows Paint graphic designer.
Anybody disagree with that?
No.
Nope.
Is that honestly what your experience is? It wasn't really that bad.
No, I'm saying that for a normal person, for me, I would have put that in a C. What I went through for months with that, but I feel like under normal circumstances with a normal person tearing their nail, it wouldn't be nearly that bad. I feel like it would be easily ignored or gotten over. Again, having not actually done the specific thing that the comment was talking about, I wouldn't have a good barometer from which to, or a good benchmark from which to rank such a thing. So let's go back to studio. We go back to the shorts because
that
even though
picture of you peering in the doorway is something else.
Would people leave your door open?
That is, oh my gosh.
That is one of the pictures of all time right there.
Yeah, something. Jeez.
Let's see. Shorts. Comments. What came after that? When you're asked to do something when you were already gonna do it anyways. I don't care. Like, that's just extra information that doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, same.
So it's like a nagging thing for them, I guess.
It's a meh. Ignore it and move on. That's what I do.
If taking orders and stuff is a problem for people,
Well, they said asked to do something. They weren't, like, commanded to do something.
well,
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem
Do
at
it
all.
now.
Like, it's just, yep, I was gonna do that. I got you, boo. Don't worry about it. I've got you covered. So I feel like this goes in S with very little thought.
Yes, you just did a little tiny square.
Nope, I'm going to do something that will make your head explode. This right here
Oh no, it's Windows Draw.
is what it's all about. This is what separates the boys from the bigger boys.
Wingdings and Windows.
Didn't do that right at all. Why is there so much input lag?
Because you're watching, you're streaming a video game too.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. That right there is a perfect question mark. That is the pinnacle of question marks. They're gonna buy that and make a font out of that soon. All right, that is the symbol for that. When you thank someone for a compliment and they respond with "You're welcome," I don't know, it just pisses me off. I feel like this is just a faux pas. Like, it's not even something that... It doesn't come from a place of malevolence whenever... Because we're taught, please and thank you, those are the magic words. And what is the response to please? Doing the thing. What is the response to thank you? You're welcome. I don't feel like that is coming from a prideful spot where this person's like, yeah, take my compliment. Yeah, you're a good little boy. Yeah. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's about that. I feel like anytime this happens where Harley, you have a very nice mustache.
how'd you know about my mustache?
You're welcome. I don't think that is mean for somebody to say you're welcome whenever you thank them for a compliment, because it's instinct. Whenever somebody compliments you, it's instinctive that you thank them. Because, like, whenever... It's a cause and effect thing. If something positive happens, that is the cause, and there's an effect that comes from that. It's usually you saying thank you, you expressing some form of gratitude for the thing that has happened that is positive, and that's, you know, it jumpstarts its own line of cause and effect, where because you said thank you, there is a response that must come from that. Because what is the option? What is the alternative? You have a very nice mustache. Thank you. And then silence?
Yeah.
That feels awkward.
Oh, can I grow one too?
I don't think this is a... I mean, I just don't think this is a problem. I think it's just instinct. It's people saying what they think they need to say. Same as if you're about to go, if you're about to leave, like from your family's house or something, you say, I love you, and they don't respond with asparagus tips. They don't respond by saying, shenanigans ensue. They say love you too.
They do?
At least they do.
Unless it's a new trend that say I like you too. But that's...
That would be... that just doesn't feel right. That's something.
No,
like
it's the new cringe trend or whatever.
Yeah.
They're seeing how people respond.
Alright, so I feel like this also goes in S.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't bother me.
Not that big of a deal. And now for more fantastic art. Let's see here. One of these. Yes.
You're welcome.
Nope. And then one of these. Dear God, my Windows Paint capabilities rivals that of Asmongold. Oh my gosh, I'm a genius. All right. A bad haircut. Now, I don't know if they're referring to like going to the barber and then getting a haircut and they don't like the finished product, or if it's seeing somebody else with a bad haircut. Because if it's seeing somebody else with a bad haircut, I don't care. That goes in S. But I feel like if somebody were to cut my hair in a way that I did not appreciate and did not enjoy, then I would be slightly more miffed, and it would be above S, because I bought something from you, and you did something to me that's going to be indelibly a part of me for the couple weeks that it takes me to grow my hair back. Have either of you just gotten a bad haircut?
I haven't had a haircut in like probably a year and a half.
I will put it. I lived in the '80s through. I was a kid in the '80s through the mid '90s.
Mm.
So yeah, inevitably I had a bad hahaircut. I mean, everybody had a bad haircut in the '80s. And, I mean, whether you like it or not. I mean, they were selling a device called the Flowbee. So.
Flowbee.
Which you attach to you attach it to if you're not familiar with the Flowbee, you attach it to a vacuum cleaner, the end of the vacuum cleaner, and then you proceed to cut your hair with the end of that. It's actually it's an amusing infomercial if you get a chance to take a look at it.
So like
Not
what?
a
It just
sponsor.
keeps no, not a sponsor, but could be. Whatever Flowbee is. So it just it keeps the hair from falling everywhere?
It's supposed to the idea of it was that it would cut your hair and vacuum up the hair at the same time so you didn't have a mess. It ended up making everybody's haircut look like Dumb and Dumber or worse.
Okay.
I mean,
so you had a haircut that somebody used a Flowbee on you, huh? They Flowbee.
I never had the Flowbee. I had friends that had the Flowbee. I never had the Flowbee. But yes, I had a bad haircut. I mean, all little boys when He-Man was big, which was like early '80s, mid '80s. I mean, all the boys wanted to have the He-Man haircut. Well, it was a haircut, a bowl cut. It was a 5-year-old bowl cut. Is basically what He-Man had.
See, whenever I think of a bad haircut, there's two people that I think of. Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk, and Tom Wopat as Luke Duke. I don't like hair that looks like it's been put onto somebody, like set on top of them.
I've got the picture for you, Rain.
Oh gosh, you've got a picture. Let me guess, it's Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber.
No.
Okay.
Oh, I could use that.
If it was me, I would be very upset, but I also have a lot of hats. I'm a hat collector. I'm the Hat Man. I have over 50 ball caps. So yeah, it wouldn't affect me very much. I also have a fedora because of course I do. I would just wear a hat, so it wouldn't bother me if I had a bad haircut, because I just wear a hat. Also, I cut my own hair, so there really isn't an opportunity for somebody to mess my haircut up.
No, you're just that good.
What? Was that English?
You're just that good?
Yes, I'm just that good. I'm a hair artisan. I'm a artisan, you might say. So yeah, I would put this in A because yes, you didn't do something right, but also I'll just put a hat over it. Have you sent me the picture?
I got it, but it didn't save it. Hang on. I hate when it does that.
Yes, I hate when it does that too, and I don't even know what's going on.
Oh, I got a better one. Never mind.
And then the next one is also from Laura Miller, so someone else eating your leftovers. So you can go ahead and simmer on that while we're putting this in A tier. Harley, do you get upset by someone else eating your leftovers?
People know not to eat my leftovers because I get very agitated.
Describe how vehemently you hate someone else eating your leftovers.
if it's something that I've been looking forward to all day, like coming home from work and like, man, I could really use some of that pizza right now, and it's just gone. I I just about blow up.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
right.
Describe the size of the mushroom cloud that's left over after it Harley explodes from extreme rage over somebody eating their favorite leftover pizza that they wanted whenever they were at work, and then they got home and it was gone.
About 3 feet.
Golly, that's huge.
I know. You know what else is
There you
huge?
go, Ray.
Dude.
Yeah, you said the picture?
Yeah.
That's also huge. All right, let's see here. This, and then Discord, and then you, and then what the f... Okay. Paste. Move that. Move it. There we go. Yeah, I don't even have to change that. I zoomed the thing out because I was expecting the picture to be larger, but nope. Right there. Okay. Nope, right there. And then select. There we go. I am a master blaster of Windows Paint disaster. That goes in A. Why is that red now? That's not the color that that's supposed to be. I'm just leaving it like that. That's delightful. So Zindy, people eating your leftovers.
It typically isn't an issue with me. However, now that I have a new roommate, it
Aha. Yeah, I can see where that would be quite explosive.
especially if I want to use it for like the next, like to use it in another dish or something. Like if I make like, example, not like if I make like ham, or if I make like beef or something like that. Sometimes if I don't say something to my roommate, it gets accidentally eaten, and then it's my fault for that. But because I didn't say anything to him, but. But yes, I've had to change that. That gets annoying when you plan a whole meal around a second using it twice, and then you have to go scrounge something up to find a replacement for that item.
Whenever I was living with my parents, way back in the days of my small but shapely youth, nobody would ever eat leftovers. We would get done with a meal. My mom would scoop things into containers, put the lids on them, put them in the refrigerator, and they would rot before anybody would touch them. Why? Because nobody wanted to eat somebody else's leftovers. My mother didn't want to eat something if my dad was going to eat it. My dad didn't want to eat something if he thought my mom was going to eat it. My mom didn't want to eat something if she thought I was going to eat it. I didn't want to eat something if I thought there was this. It was just a Mexican standoff is 3 people. I hereby declare a Svalbardian standoff to be 5 people in a house who don't want to eat something because they don't want to cause grievance to someone else who wanted to eat the thing. In reality, nobody probably would have cared at all because we had so much food. Because we were such rich, well, upstanding people. Well-to-do. The whole pride thing we were talking about earlier coming out now. But no, there would have never been a problem. But everybody was just so terrified of causing someone else to be sad and hungry that nobody ever ate anything, and leftovers would just spoil before anybody ate anything. So yeah, we never had an opportunity to have our food eaten by somebody else and feel some type of way about it. So this is entirely in you guys' hands.
Going back to my childhood and when I was living with my parents, it was kind of the same. It was the situation of if you ate something, you would get yelled, "Where'd it go? You ate my stuff, blah, 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 blah." But if I let it sit there, it would rot. So you're kind of like, I want to eat it, but I don't want to get yelled at for eating all your stuff.
Right.
And they used to do that with so that started the new trend of when you would have ice cream, Like if you eat ice cream, you always leave like a spoonful in the
Oh my
in the ice cream
god.
carton, so that you wouldn't get
That's
yelled at.
another thing.
And then your parents would yell at you because they'd be like, "Why do I have a small rock inside the ice cream carton that's all full of ice chips?" I went to go get ice cream. Well, I hate to tell you, if you go to go get ice cream and that you have ice chips on it, regardless if there's only a little rock in there, you weren't gonna eat it anyway, even if you had a full thing, because it was ruined from from freezer burn.
From too much of the surface area being exposed, yeah. Well, I have the perfect picture for this one once you guys come to a solution. For me, I would have to put it in an S because I don't know. Because it never happened.
It's like, I'd say B, maybe A or B.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but I mean, I do detonate somewhat on whoever who ate the food and was like, what the fuck?
Would you prefer that it be put in B due to your unfortunate
You said B, I agree with
situations?
B.
You would agree with B? Okay.
I would agree with
Zindy, would you disagree with the B ranking?
No.
This is interesting. I didn't know there was such emotional connotations tied to actually having your leftovers eaten. I just always didn't want to make anybody sad by eating their food, and then
Well, exactly,
them
yeah.
being hungry because of
It
me.
makes you sad.
Well, yeah, and if it's something that you put aside, then you go for your lunch the next day and it's gone.
It's even worse if you had already taken all the materials to make that meal, and then you
Oh,
realize, oh, the main part is gone because someone ate it. Gotta go find them and rip off their forehead.
Good grief!
I've had it worse where I've gone where I was going to work and I grabbed something. Now this was this was many years ago, but I was in a rush and I woke up and I had gone the night before to McDonald's or something like that, something stupid like that, and I put it in there, not knowingly my then partner, my ex-girlfriend at the time, she went down and had a midnight snack, didn't tell me she ate anything out of it and left the bag there. I took it to work, and to find that I had 3 fries and a couple of napkins.
You didn't feel that the bag was like really light when you picked it
Well,
up?
it had all the trash in it still because she left.
Oh my gosh!
She's left
Wait,
the stupid box.
She put it back in the fridge, or am I misunderstanding?
That way he could have napkins whenever he woke up, dude.
Exactly.
Cold napkins at
I was
that.
eating paper products for lunch.
All right, well that goes in B. It has been decided.
Melinda's is your leftovers.
Yes. I couldn't find another food picture. That was the first
thought-
food picture I found on my phone.
I was gonna say I thought the scorpion pepper sauce would be your leftovers because you didn't want it ever again.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that in my gallery whenever I started scrolling through for copyright free pictures because in 2025 we have to pay for clip art of traffic cones. Stupid. The tip of your reed for your woodwind instrument chipping.
Oh.
Completely doesn't apply. I've never played a woman instrument.
I play saxophone, so it's annoying as hell.
Okay, Zindy, take us into it because I've only played the recorder
All
and
right.
I only played it for 2 years. What you got?
So that is basically the only way that you're going to make sound. And if you've got a chipped reed or you've got a cracked reed, your instrument is sounding like a squealing pig being slaughtered. Like there's no other way of putting it. It just, yeah, it's bad. And if you don't have an extra reed, you're not playing for the most part. If it's depending on how bad it is. But at the same time, I used to know kids that would have. They basically would just. You might as well just take wood sticks and stuck it on the instrument and try to play anyway. Especially marching band, they were. Some of the reeds that you see in that is horrible. But anyway, that's why 95% of all your kids' bands, the woodwind sections, usually, especially if they have reeds like like clarinets, oboes, saxophones, things like that. When you're hearing all those squeaks and all those things in a concert for your kids' or band stuff, and you're hearing all the squeaks, that's usually what it is.
Yeah, it's damaged reeds.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And probably bad notes here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't play properly on a chipped reed or a broken reed.
Okay.
It is a.
So the commenter said, it's like it won't do much to this harm the sound of the instrument itself. I just think it's really annoying to have my reeds chip so easily. It doesn't hurt at all, in my opinion. It's just uncomfortable. That's what they had to say about it.
If you're playing on a student model, you won't notice it, or an intermediate. But if you go to your professional models, I guarantee you will hear a difference in the way that in the tone and the way that it plays. Those beginner instrument, if you're playing on a beginner instrument or an intermediate, they're more forgiving of that kind of stuff. So it's still there, but you're never going to get a real nice sound out of an intermediate or a beginner instrument. Any way you look at it, it's going to be okay sounding. You're not going to not sound like snobbish or anything, but your professional quality instruments. There's a reason why they're professional quality instruments.
Well, I know whenever I took recorder class, because I know how to play the meme instrument. I used to bite the end of my instrument whenever I first started. That didn't last long. I did learn how to just touch it with my lips and not to clamp down on the end of the recorder. But yeah, my teeth naturally did what teeth do to the end of an ivory instrument. It made gouges. And for the next 2 years, still working with the same recorder for the next 2 years, I just, every time I put my mouth on my instrument, I felt those grooves. And it made me so upset for the first 6 to 8 months. I was like, I gotta buy a new recorder, but these things aren't, I mean, I'm what, 15 years old. Those things are expensive for a 14-year-old. I mean, I didn't have a way to mitigate it, and eventually I just became used to it, and it became familiar to me, where I didn't want to buy a new recorder because I knew that those gouges wouldn't be there, which would make it not mine anymore. This is how I viewed it. Strange way to view it. It's how I viewed it.
Why were you playing on a recorder at 14 or 15 years old?
Because
Usually that's elementary school stuff.
Because I didn't want to learn how to play the piano because it took too long. I knew I wanted to learn how to play an instrument, but I didn't want to actually put in the time commitment necessary to do it. And so
they give it as an alternative.
Yeah, basically I just picked up recorder because I wanted to say I could play an instrument, but I didn't actually, I wasn't committed to the time. And then my sister turned around and became a piano. Like she took piano for, I think.
Became a piano.
She became a piano. You should see her today, boy. I tell you, it is hard to get her into the truck to take her anywhere.
Now she just transforms back to human form.
She became a piano master, dude. She took piano for 14 years. And now she teaches a class of 30 students.
Oh, wow.
Every Saturday.
Yeah, I haven't played sax for over 30, so.
She ran her piano teacher out of things that the lady could teach her. Composes her own music. But over on the side, I'm just tooting on my little my little flute on a diet is what a recorder is. But yeah, the chewing on the reed, recorder doesn't have a reed, so the best I could do is just the blowhole. What do you call the end of a recorder?
The mouthpiece.
The mouthpiece of the recorder, having little divots in it for my toofies, is the closest I can come to a chipped reed. But Zindy, you're saying that chipped reeds are annoying and they hamper the sound on a professional grade instrument?
They can, especially if they're a big chip or if they're a big crack. It can make it not playable. So
where would you put a chipped reed?
It depends on what quality instrument I'm on. If I'm on an intermediate to beginner instrument, I'd probably put it like B level. If you're on a pro instrument, it's going to be A or F. Because you just won't be able to, it won't sound right. Like, the worst are the people that don't ever change their reeds. They get all moldy and stinky and cracked and chipped, and it's just disgusting.
Yeah, that really must mess up the sound.
But people do that. They just don't care. They're just like, I'm still using the number 2 Rico reed I learned how to play on 15 years ago. Maybe not. But I've seen some pretty bad ones.
All right, Reddit has come to the rescue here. Copy image.
No.
I have a image of a chipped reed that we could put on here, and I don't have to keep drawing things in Google Paint or Windows Paint.
Google
see.
Paint.
If I could
Google
have sent you a
Paints.
picture of a chip read, I got one in my case over here.
I've got one off of Reddit. Appreciate Reddit
It's
for
not
giving me
copyrighted,
this
is it?
image. Off of Reddit?
I mean, it could be.
It's some individual who posted it on here. It's not a business or somebody who they did the thing. I can give image credit.
Oh
Hang on.
yeah. No, that's way more than chip, man. That's demolished.
Let me
There's
go.
no plan on that sucker.
Chipped read. Which user posted this?
I've seen rednecks with more teeth in their mouth than that Reed has.
On r/saxophone 2 years ago, the user I exist for memes lol posted this picture that we're using. So thank you to I exist for memes lol. There you go. You happy now, Zindy?
Not a sponsor.
So where would you put this, Zindy? You put it, you're not putting it in F,
B.
I'm assuming. You put it
It's
in
like
B?
B.
Okay.
Just put it in B. It's like straight in the middle.
Put it in B.
And if you can't play on your Reed because you chipped it's that badly chipped, that's your own darn fault. Just don't play around me because I don't want to try hearing you play it.
Alright, B is now full. I will have to compact that if we put anything else in there.
Because literally all you're doing is giving your instrument. I can't say that on.
Yep. Alright, so next item. The RC plane controls being broken.
Well, seeing as they don't have an RC controller or an RC controller or a plane, that doesn't even make it to the list for me.
I think it's a skill issue.
Harley, did you ever have a remote control plane as a kid?
I had drones,
Okay.
but like
Tell us about your remote control drones. Did you have
I
the
would
controller
never
break-
play with them to the point of the controller breaks. That's like skillful. I'm proud of them for that.
Jeez.
You're not
Oh,
going to believe it. But I had a remote control plane
Really?
for about 15 minutes.
Oh,
Any
no.
practice.
That sounds about right.
And 13 of that was trying to figure out how to open the packaging. It was this big honking. I must have been 9, 10 years old. It was this big old honking remote control airplane that, to me, looked like a Boeing 7. I'm telling you, man, this thing was gigantic. In reality, it was probably, maybe 2 feet wingspan, 2 foot wingspan, but I thought it was massive. And
No, it's
so,
massive.
huh?
Massive.
Massive plane, absolutely gargantuan aircraft. I was gonna have to call air traffic control to be able to get permissions to fly the thing. I'm telling you something. I took that outside. I was so excited after we shredded the packaging trying to open it, because the people who create packaging have absolutely, and that's another thing for the annoying things tier list, is things that are packaged like Fort Knox, difficult plastic packaging. But they had this thing wrapped up. We finally got it open with a box cutter. And I took it outside, put the batteries in the controller. My dad's like, all right, I'm going to set it out there. Get ready. Here we go. Turns it on, sets the thing down on its little landing gear. And I hit the stick. And I'm telling you something, Sonny, that thing took off. And then it went... Apparently the remote controller's effective range was like 13 feet.
What?
Because it took off and it died instantly. Dove straight into the ground. Both wings snapped off. The propeller was shoved up into the thing. It was demolished. Instantly. After climbing to, like I say, about 10, 13 feet. The controller wasn't broken. It just... I would have had to have been flying alongside the RC plane in a different plane in order to control it.
Why don't you just hop on the back of the RC plane?
And I got that thing for Christmas, dude. I was so sad. I told Santa Claus the next time I saw him, I said, look here, man, you can't be fooling me with these confounded prank gifts where you're giving me planes that I have to fly next to in order to control them. And he thought it was funny, but I didn't.
Yeah, he's full of jokes.
You know how Santa Claus is with the jokes and all that. So the emotional trauma that caused me at a young age, I would put that to sea whenever your remote controls for your planes don't work. Not necessarily broken, but whenever they just don't function properly. But Harley, you never had an issue where you couldn't control your drones?
No.
And Zindy, you've never had a remote control flying piece of equipment?
No.
I'm putting it in C. Let me go to Reddit and find a remote controlled plane picture. uh,
The meat balcony.
nah, how about broken controller? That would be better.
Just general controller.
Yeah,
I
broken
think
controller.
just broken controller in general, I can actually apply to that.
Well, no, I'm just getting a picture of a broken controller so that I can put it in the tier list.
Well.
Not actually rating broken controllers yet. Obviously, we'll have to get to that later. Okay. In Xbox support from a deleted user, we got our picture here. Thank you for the picture and for being deleted so that I don't have to read your name.
Thank you for being deleted.
Thank you for deleting your Reddit profile. You're probably better off for it because that website is terrible. By the way, we have a subreddit r/rainfall.
Everything's about this guy. Swear to God.
True. All right, that's that. Next item.
Look how dainty they're sitting. Legs crossed and everything. Think they're the king of the world.
Getting a hangnail.
So squished.
Zindy.
I've
Take
got
us
like
into
5
it.
right now.
That's a C.
Explain.
Because it can ruin your day.
Expound upon this.
When it rips and it goes into your, and if it rips when you get rid of it, and then, or it doesn't all the way come out, and then it starts getting infected or swelling. Yeah, it can mess
Gross.
up, and you don't even have to. Yeah, you don't even have to touch the middle of your finger, and your whole finger just throbs. It's
It
constantly hurting.
explodes even.
Yeah, I despise hangnails. It's even worse when it's on your feet, and you got them squished.
That's
in a freaking
possible?
boot or- When you got it in a and you got it in a boot or a shoe, and it's being squished against the side of the shoe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no bueno. You're walking around with a limp all day.
Good lord. Yeah, I mean, I guess I do have them. Because I have my hands in gloves all day, and that doesn't lead to a very good, finger climate, I guess would be the best way to put it. And even if I didn't have gloves, I feel like if I didn't have gloves on all day, it would probably be in a worse condition because of being exposed to all the damage that my hands are guarded from whenever I'm at work by having gloves on. But yeah, they don't bother me that much, and they don't get infected, and they don't even manifest in a way that I can really notice unless I look at my hands and I'm like, huh, there's a hangnail.
It doesn't always it doesn't always do that for me, but occasionally I'll get one where it will get it will hurt or it'll get infected or whatever, and then it's for like a day and a half, 2 days. It's just nothing but a pain. And then if you try, I don't cook with my feet, so I'm talking about my hands, not my feet. If you're cooking, or you get something like lemon juice in it, or you get something like acidic or whatever in it, and then it just takes off, burning even worse. Or salt.
Like alcohol in a wound, kind of an idea.
Yeah, or alcohol in a wound, or yep. Because I did work for at one point I did work for a distiller, and yeah, you get some of that alcohol and you don't feel good at all.
So, my opinion of it is it goes in S. because I just don't notice it unless I look at it, and it's not like I enjoy looking at it. I would rather not have it look like my hands are coming apart, but it doesn't affect anything, and I don't notice it hurting. Like, it doesn't actually just hurt by existing.
I would put it in an F, or F, or F. Yeah.
You would put it in an F.
Really?
Hangnails are one of my banes of existence. I hate hangnails.
Good Lord. Okay.
Don't show this guy a hangnail.
All right. Well, I mean that nerfs it down to C because of my opinion. Well, my opinion being an S. That means yeah. All right. We're putting it in C. You have drastically influenced it in a negative way. Because if it was just me, that would not be that big of a deal. But yeah, we'll put that in. Do you want to provide the pictures, Indy?
No, it's okay.
No, please. I insist. No, go ahead. Choose a hangnail picture.
Oh, should I find one of a toe with a hangnail?
No, we're not putting feet pictures on my tier list.
Damn. So close.
It's not a foot, it's just a toe.
Nope, not doing it.
How about a finger that looks like a toe? I'm kidding.
Nope. How about a tinger that looks like a foe?
I got it for you.
There you go. Now you're coming around. Let me know once you've sent it, because for some reason Discord isn't making a notification noise right now.
If I could spell.
Wait, I know why it's not making a notification noise right now. I'm stupid. Disable streamer mode. Yeah. All right. Very good picture. Very good picture, dude. All right. That is perfect. And this is going in C. Zindy has decided. Very good picture. I feel like some people might look at that and get squeamish, but you know
It
what?
could be worse. There's one with blood on it.
Sucks to suck.
There's one that's infected.
Gah, yes.
It's got yellow pus on it. I don't think
That
it's
is about the best picture I think we could have gotten. All right. And this goes Chanda. There?
Wakanda?
Chanda. All right, hangnail has been ranked. Excelente. Absolutely flaptastic. All right, next is... Now, the user What Was Expected left a comment on the short. They said, and I quote, "Aheim digwin digmin ging. That's what you sound like right now."
What?
Man, people who say this are the worst. That's their entry to the tier list.
Ding, 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 ding.
So I am actually going to write out exactly what they said. And that is going to be, let me put a square around it. And then no fill. What do y'all think about it whenever people say, "A hein digwidinging budding boing wing wing"? No response. All right, no response. Harley, are you just so flabbergasted?
I was muted.
You were muted.
I was muted. Sorry, muted. I just when I hear someone say, go ahead.
A hein digwine de minding.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started.
It's that bad, huh?
Please, just like for this entry, just type that out.
I'm doing that. Yeah, that's the picture that we're putting in here. Is that exact phrase is going in the tier list?
Comic Sans fun.
Nah, I gotta make the font smaller.
Or maybe Papygras.
So not the Calibri that I usually use.
Huh?
Let's see. Is Comic Sans still exist? Yes, it does. A hein. Okay. And then we'll put it up here. And that'll be that. A hind. But the real reason this person put this in here was because they're not fans of it whenever people say some that's what you sound like right now. That's the reason they put this in here. So who says this?
Absolute maniacs.
Has anybody ever heard anybody say this?
A hiney?
No, the phrase "that's what you sound like right now."
Oh, that's what you sound like.
After spitting out some sort of ridiculous nonsense.
I think that's really funny.
I've had
People say
people
that.
do it to me when they think I'm mumbling,
Yes.
and it sounds clear to me, but it didn't come out clear to them. And yes, if you're trying to say something, and then they're kind of mocking you back,
A Hindegwine.
a hiney de guiney.
What was expected? I hope you were expecting this, because this is what is happening right now, buddy.
I was gonna say, how about a whiny hiney?
A Hindegwine again.
A hiney de guiney de gem, yes, or de gem.
Maybe it's just jump.
Sounds like the new Pokemon.
DGE from Edge, and then M from M.
What color Pokemon are you? Blurple.
Jump.
A hiney de guiney de gem.
Purple.
Energy. That's short for energy.
It's bad energy. All right, that is the ranking. I'm gonna put this at S. I don't know what I haven't run into this. I haven't run into this.
It's annoying, but it's not like up on the tier scale for me.
Yeah, it's not on par with the highway department or scratched glasses or dropping things or secondhand smoke or stomach ache or.
What do you know about scratch glasses? You don't wear
What do
glasses.
you know about rolling down in the deep when your brain goes numb, huh? That's what I thought.
I know a lot about that.
All
Discussion.
right,
Let's
so
get a
that's
PDF file from some random person.
That's about as dumb
correct.
as your brain can go without going.
We are moving through it. We are adding things left and right. Another entry from what was expected. They said, and I quote, "Some things siblings say or do. Example 1. Sibling 1. Stop following me. Sibling 2. Why? Sibling 1. Because I said so. Sibling 2. Why? Sibling 1. You're not funny. Sibling 2. Why?"
Sounds like this person has a younger sibling.
What's
And
he
they're
that
just-
way?
They'll just come out here
Venting
to let us know.
venting their sibling frustrations, their self-frustrations. Huh?
I'm
So
split
what?
on it.
What?
Their
split on it.
self-frustrations.
I'm split on that. I think it's just because of my situation, but
Okay. Example 2. Why are you annoying me? Sibling 2 says, "Why are you annoying?" Okay, it's the copying me thing.
yeah.
Example 3. Sibling 1, stop touching me. Sibling 2, boop. Sibling 1, stop it. Sibling 2, boop.
Boop.
That's great. That is.
All right. I think this is really just comes down to siblings. I will lead us into that because I have 2 sisters. Both of them are younger than me. And I never deliberately annoyed my sisters. And I think if you were to ask both of my sisters, they would agree with that. I'm not coping. I am not making things up. My sisters were the first friends that I had. I named my older sister, who's 5 years younger than me. I got to name her, and then she got to name third sister, the next one. And
She got to name the cat.
Love you.
we were. She actually did name the cat. She named it She named it Cataline, which is like Catherine, the cat. It's Cataline.
So I have to ask, did the cat name your aloe plant?
No, No, Herman was named by my sister. The second one.
I named the plant.
The plant would have to name the pot that it was in. And then the pot would have to name the douchebag with the leaf blower that killed it.
Oh.
He already had a name. His name was.
He was already named. His name was douchebag. The anti-aloe plant man. So yeah, I never had any sibling issues. The worst thing that I ever did, though, and what made me the saddest person in all of Savannah, Georgia, for a good like 6 to 8 hours, was I threw my sister into the toy box. I was spinning her around as I have spoken to so many co-workers who talked about whenever they were kids and they'd grab each other by their ankles and they would spin. Do you know what I'm talking about? Can you picture in your mind?
Yes, because I've done that with my sister.
Yeah.
Too.
Everybody has done that with a sibling, where you hold their ankles and then you spin in place and you're like a top and they're flung out and all outstretched and they're laughing and they're having a great time. They get dizzy and you get dizzy. And there's really not it's like the Chinese finger trap of spinning. There's not a way to stop without hurting someone. There isn't a landing pad unless you deftly fling them onto a pre-placed mattress that you had in your beady little 10-year-old brain the presence of mind to position beforehand. They're not coming down without injury. You can't, like, slowly stop spinning because then you're going to bonk them on the ground. And then if you're on carpet, they'll get rug burn. And if you're on linoleum, oh my goodness, the road rash. There's no way to let them down safely. In my case, I didn't let them down. I lost my grip. And I flung my sister like a boomerang into the open toy box that was up against the window. Thank God she did not go through the window, because I guarantee she would have gone through it at the rate that she flew over there. She smacked into the lid of the toy box like a basketball bouncing off the backboard and fell down into the toy box, and the lid landed shut. And all I heard was... I thought I killed her. I absolutely galloped over there to the toy box, tore the lid off of it. We could not get the lid back on the toy box after that. I broke the lid opening it to get my sister out. It was a place... No, Fisher Price. It was a white toy chest with a blue lid that was supposed to be able to be separated. It was supposed to come off, but I took it off with such force that it broke the hinge on the left side of it. So it would just flop closed. And I got my sister out, and she was extremely not happy with the toy box or with me. And that haunted me for months. I couldn't look at my toy box for several days. I was just so upset about it. I was so guilty about catapulting my sister across the trailer. So yeah, it's my experience with siblings. Other than that, I feel like at least I would hope that I've been a good big brother. I know that they've been like one sister works in law, one sister's an aircraft pilot. So
and there's also piano.
And the law sister is a pianist.
No,
is that the one that you threw in the toy box? She
is the one that I threw in the toy box, yes.
So you knocked some sense into her.
So, yes, all you have to do to become a lawyer is let your big brother throw you head first into a toy box. That is the first.
Oh, you become a good pianist, too.
Yes. So, yeah, that is all it takes to get a good career, is to be thrown into a toy box. Harley, you have siblings.
I do have siblings. 100,000 XP level. What in the world?
Would you consider your relationship with your siblings to be grievous, or would you consider it to be a blessing that you would not want to imagine a life without?
consider it very hilarious.
Yes, okay. It's hilarious, eh? They're your personal court jester? What are you talking here?
In a sense.
Ah, okay. All right. Would
No,
you consider them to be annoying?
No, not at all. Not
Or
at all.
are there things that they do that annoy you? Anything remotely close to what the user here has already indicated.
Well, funny enough, sometimes she leaves my door open. It was already on this list,
That's
so.
already on the list, yeah.
Yeah, so. Nothing to really add to it.
So, where on the tier list would you put your siblings?
Oh, S.
S? Okay.
She's awesome to us.
Okay. And Zindi, what's your without going into a whole lot of
Detail.
emotional territory that you don't want to deal
Yeah.
with? What is your ranking for siblings?
I would say if what happened didn't happen, I'd probably put it at like, I don't know, B tier. As far as like the annoyances, but considering the situation I'm in now, he's not here anymore. I'd give anything for it back.
Oh, yeah.
So you would agree with an S tier?
Yeah.
All right. And I also believe it's an S tier. I would have been the loneliest kid on earth if I did not have my sisters. There's no substitute for them. I love my sisters. I love my family in general as a whole. I would be nowhere without them. My family made me the man that I am, and I'm damn proud of the man that I am. So, yeah, wouldn't trade him for anything in the world. I don't think I could put a picture of my sisters on here because I don't think they would appreciate being featured on a tier list about annoying things.
Put a picture of the M&Ms all standing next to each other. They're family.
The M&Ms are copyrighted. They're trademarked, though.
Ah. So, make them look like Skittles.
One of those bad,
Erase the M and put S's on them.
one of those bad car stickers that have the siblings on them.
Oh, the stick people. Are
Yeah.
those copyrighted, too?
Make one! Did you not make that?
You want me to draw stick people on my tier list? Whatever. I've already. This tier list is basically the Windows Paint tier
that would
list
be
as it is.
perfect because it's like kids.
What?
Have two stick figures holding hands. That's
Okay,
how
well,
kids
that-
always
that-
draw their siblings is two stick figures holding hands.
I generally never held hands with my sisters. Let's calm down.
I know I didn't hold hands with my brother, but that's how you drew it. Because they're your family.
I drew them standing beside each other.
I don't know.
I also didn't draw stick figures. You should see. At some point, I should actually show some of the drawings that I used to make. Because I used to be quite the artiste until I became stupid. So yeah, stick figures, eh? I'm gonna actually draw it with a pencil feature instead of the circle thing. So here we go.
Lock it in.
I am making an actual stick figure image with a pencil. Just like I used to draw my sisters, except that I didn't draw stick figures. So there's that. Also, I have to draw two
You have to
sisters.
give long hair.
Yep, I did that. I did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little behind. You got to remember. Twitch isn't
Copy.
keeping up to date with you.
Paste. And then this one needs to be shorter. And there we go. There's me and my two sisters. It's perfect. It's artistic genius. Yeah, siblings are not a problem. Not a problem. All right, next on the comment section from that short. Dan Bland commented, working all day building houses. Having nothing but cigarettes and Red Bulls, maybe a breakfast sandwich, until I get home 8 to 12 hours later, take a shower, finally getting to relax and eat. Then, out of nowhere, she starts lightly bitching or asking me to do several things at once, getting negative energy while trying to eat, especially the one time you do a day, after busting your ass to extremely annoying. One of my all time dislikes: don't mess with a man while he's trying to have some peace and fill his belly after a long day. That has to rank top tier.
Get me away from this guy.
Yeah.
So Dan's got several things in here. Working all day building houses should be F tier because working on like building houses is awful. Give me a factory, give me a school. Well, don't give me a school. Give me a hospital. Give me a warehouse. Anything but houses. Houses are so boring. I hate building houses. It's so garbage. Um, Knowing that your diet consists of very little besides fast food and energy drinks is depressing and demoralizing because you feel like you got to have something quick. You've got to have something that'll keep you awake for a 12-hour day of slogging through houses. But you don't want to have to live that way. But you really can't make any adjustments because you don't have time and because you know if you don't have that caffeine, you won't make it through the day. That's really upsetting. And then getting negative energy at home.
What the heck did you guys do before energy drinks, man?
You fell asleep? No, the thing is, I didn't. Before energy drinks, I didn't work. Like that's the thing. I told you,
They must have been drinking some mad-ass coffee.
I lost over 50 pounds whenever I got a job. Because whenever I was younger, I weighed a lot more. So I think what all of this boils down to, at its core, you know, despite the residential and despite the diet, is a negative at-home environment. I've talked about my home life before and how I couldn't. Dude, I wish I could turn back the clock. I love my family, and the time that I got to spend with them, I enjoyed it. There were obviously times when it wasn't all sunshine and roses. We obviously had our little spats and tiffs, but it did not permanently hamper our relationships. It did not make us love each other any less. And I can't think of a time when I couldn't be around my family because they were all so negative. I mean, the only time that we really had a serious dark cloud over the house, kind of a situation, was whenever my grandfather died. And that wasn't animosity amongst the family members. That was just the loss of a loved one. And every house goes through that. It's not that people are not happy with each other. It's just grief. And that is not in any way negatively impacting, at least not by itself, not directly impacting the relationships that the people have with each other in the house. I can't speak to this. I don't have enough experience with negative emotions towards family to put this on the tier list. I would put my family not on the annoying things tier list. But I don't know. I can say with full confidence that my family would never watch this because they don't watch my videos. That yeah, there's no way I could put them on this tier list. I didn't have days or weeks or months of negativity. Certainly didn't have something where I came home after a long day and they met me at the door with a honey-do list. Zindy, what you got? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, I can go into stuff that had happened. I don't want to really go into detail about what happened, but let's just say there was a huge spat at one point between my parents and my brother, and they tried to drag me in the middle and make me middleman and choose, like, one side tried to make me choose over the other side, and it got ugly. And I was just like, no, I'm not. I'm like, leave me alone, leave me out of this. And ultimately, by me choosing to be out of it, the one person took offense and thought I was choosing a side. So, um, it, which affected my wedding eventually, which ultimately affected my wedding. Um, and we had people that were missing from my wedding because of it. But yeah, it's when it happens, it's crappy. I would put it as a C for crappy.
Okay. Harley?
Only really had that kind of thing when I was with my dad, because I mean, chores exist, and when you're not at the house, chores build up. So I mean, it doesn't really bother me. Just kind of is what it is.
I can speak to my ex, like in the situation, the relationship I was in with my ex, um, obviously prior to my wife. But yeah, I used to come home and you deal with. I was in retail and I was in IT and things like that. And you're listening to customers completely just belittling or berating you and just giving you crap. And then the last thing you want is when you come home is to hear somebody screaming or yelling at you, causing problems like that. Yeah, like I said, so I just keep it at a C.
All right. I'm willing to put it as C. If there is no rebuttal.
But now I look at it as like it doesn't bother me. So I've got I love my family now. So
There's C. Man, I have selected this thing. I've deselected this thing. I'm starting to lose my genius capabilities with this app. There we go. All right, that's negative household energy. Is that AI generated image of a person who's upset? I made this whenever I was making the thumbnails for the next several videos. I made that in Canva. And the last comment from that video is the hem on your pants wearing out. Showing off what you got cooking in the oven downstairs kind of a situation.
on your pants wearing out. It's called a belt.
The hem on your pants, not your pants wearing out, where stuff starts to get exposed.
Oh. Get new pants.
Cue the SpongeBob ripped pants soundtrack situation. Yes.
That was a goat.
When did Sponge Goat join the call? What is this?
Give Ray 2 legs for the sponge goat.
I have work pants and I have at-home pants. There is a pair of sweatpants currently hanging in my closet that has holes starting in the nether regions, going all the way down the right leg to the side of the knee. I don't throw that pair of pants away. It has holes. It's my favorite pair of pants. It's very comfortable. That is what I wear in my own house during the summertime. I don't sleep with them on because I'm not a pajamas person. But it's something that I wear if I'm sitting here at the desk. You know, the few times that I actually sit at the desk while clothed. Doing things in the laundry room, you know, sitting in the living room watching something on the television. The thing about them wearing out is that I'll stop wearing them whenever I'm out in public, and I'll keep using them whenever I'm at the house. Pants tearing while in public, never had that happen. I've seen it happen. There was a fella I used to work with, big guy. I'm telling you, if you want something picked up and put somewhere else, this is the man for you. Dude was a giant, absolute chungus of a muscle man. Everybody called him Cupcake. That was kind of cute. And he was the wire puller. If we had a long pull of wire to do, because we didn't have at the time, our company was too small to afford a wire puller, like an automatic motorized wire pulling machine. He would take a piece of pipe, like rigid 3/4 pipe, and he would wrap the jet line or the mule tape or whatever around that, half hitch it to it, and then put it in front of his arms, like across his chest, and then he would just walk backwards. And that wire could be 300-400 foot run, number 10 wire going through 3/4 PVC, doesn't matter. You got Cupcake pulling it. It has nowhere else to go but in the pipe, and it has no choice but to come right along. It was like hooking a damn truck to the jet line. And all that force that he exerted onto the pipe and onto the wire and onto the jet line never hurt him, but it hurt the pipe. It hurt the jet line. He popped several jet lines trying to pull the wire, and one day he popped his pants. And he duct taped it shut and kept on working.
I had my pants ripped when I was working at Radio Shack the one time.
How do you rip your pants working at Radio Shack? What's
Yeah,
up, Abby? How you doing, buddy?
I got caught. I had to scoop down to fix a computer, and there was a couple parts. There was a couple computers all over the place, and because they didn't have real good storage, I guess, ethics or whatever you want to call it, organization.
I'll see if I've got some jet line in the other room, and I'll show you what it is.
What the fuck?
As I was bending down, I didn't realize there was a computer below me, and it got caught right in between the legs. And when I stood up, right in front of a customer, almost split down the middle, I had to staple those suckers together and to go through the rest of the shift.
All right, so I don't have any jet line, maybe not in the house. I've definitely got some out in the yard. But all it is it's a long, like nylon or fiber string that is used, has an average of 250 pounds of tensile force that it must be applied to it to break it. And it is used by electricians to pull wire through conduits. So if you've got a long piece of metal tube, and at one end is a box, the other end is a box, you have a jet line that goes through the pipe, and then you tie the wire onto the end of the jet line, and then you pull the jet line, and that pulls the wire through. I'm an electrical apprentice out of Ontario, Canada. I've got 2 years of experience. I'm in the commercial field, non-union, 23 years old right now. Right now I'm on a Reno project. Okay, dude, just getting started, getting the business booming. Yes, dude. Very nice. Keep at it, dude. Get that J card. Very, very nice. So yeah, like an easy way to get wire through a pipe is you tie like a piece of plastic bag, or they actually make factory plugs that you tie onto the end of a wire pulling string, a jet line, and you stick that into the pipe, and it needs to be the same diameter as the pipe. So if you got a 3/4 EMT, you'll have a 3/4 inch wad of, like I say, plastic bag. They're called rats, is what it's called. They call them a rat. You have a 3/4 rat that you stick in the pipe, and it's tied to jet line. At the other end, you've got a vacuum, and you stick the vacuum nozzle onto the pipe, and you vacuum that rat through the pipe, and it pulls the jet line all the way to the other end. Then at the other end, you tie the wire on, and then you pull the jet line to pull the wire through. With bigger wires, you'll use a mule tape, which is 2,500 pound tensile strength oftentimes. And it's just a flat rope, and that'll go around corners inside, 90s and 45s inside the pipe. Easily pull large wires with. And if you've got something big like feeder cable, then you'll use a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch rope instead to pull it through, like 4-inch PVC. So that's what jet line is. Oh yeah, we do that. I tear a little plastic bag. All right, Cindy. Yeah, we're going to be getting off here in just a second because we've gotten through all the comments from the short. So we're going to be cutting it off here because I got to go eat, and we've been at it for an hour and 40 minutes. But yeah, we'll definitely get back on this tomorrow. Yeah, we do that. A tear a little plastic bag, make a nice little bag, tape it, and use a vacuum. Yeah, yeah. And the string that you use, we refer to it as jet line because it jets through the pipe. I don't know what the technical term for it is because you look at the side of the bucket that it comes in, and you probably tell what it's called, like electrician's pulling string. I don't know what the technical term for it is. But yeah, okay, so ranking torn pants. I need to get a picture of of a hole in some pants to put this on the tier list. Do I have a pair of torn pants?
Got one. Got one for you.
Okay, what is it?
What to do?
Oh, you can't use it because SpongeBob is it's copyrighted.
If
It
you
was
can-
SpongeBob with it.
Here, if you could just show his torn pants, it's fine. Doesn't have to be his face. Here, just send me the picture and I'll crop it. Because, yeah, I don't have a pair of pants that's torn.
All right, give me a second here.
But yeah, we got a good bit of stuff ranked. What all did we get? We didn't actually put anything in the F tier this time around. That's huge. So we ranked broken remote control plane controllers, hangnails, negative energy at your house, snooty people, eating someone else's leftovers, a cracked reed on your woodwinds instrument, when your nail gets broken, stupid haircuts, sibling rivalry, I guess is the best way to put this one. Whenever someone says that's you, that's what you sound like. Whenever someone says you're welcome after you say thank you because they complimented you. I don't remember what the question mark was for, but I'm sure it was absolutely brilliant. We're less than 1% of the way done with this list. All of the items that we ranked today came from the comment section on a short that I requested people to please put things to put on the list. So please do continue to comment things to put on the annoying things tier list because the full scope of the human experience is boundless and there are billions and billions of things that would cause us grief. And, good lord, Zindy. I'm going to have to go into full-size cam to be able to paste that. Really?
Cut the square off the square pants.
Yep. I'm doing that.
I wish you could take the whole picture because that's just a funny picture. But
Beauty is in the ear of the smeller, I suppose.
well, you definitely smell it. He blew a hole through his when he
Yep.
ripped one.
So ripped pants to me is S because I just don't wear them in public anymore, and I'm not a large enough person that I've ever done it in public. Does anybody disagree with just putting ripped pants in S?
Wait, did you just say you don't wear pants in public?
Listen, I wear pants in public. That is not what is being discussed here. I'm not. For all you know, I wear pants in public. No one is disputing this. You can't prove anything, officer.
Wow, that's a really bad cut of that picture.
It's perfect. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
You can't even know what it is.
No, I can tell exactly what that is. That is a sponge hind. You notice how they made the bottom of the sponge completely flat so people would have made it weird?
Yep. I was thinking about buying a little M12 vacuum for that to pull string, not long runs though, like 100 foot of 3/4 inch pipe and some 90s. I don't want to waste the money though. Okay, so I have a DeWalt version of the M12, and it's about the same size and about the same power. And I have tried to use it for pulling jet lines through pipes, and I don't have an M12, so I can't speak for it, but I never could get string to go through a pipe, even with compression fittings, not using the little string, not the screw type compression fittings, because everybody knows those things have some vacuum loss. Like if you're trying to vacuum through a screw type connector or coupling, it's not going to have as much pressure because the air is leaking out of those fittings because of things getting squeezed and making an air gap. But even using compression ring fittings with that DeWalt brand version of what you're talking about, the Milwaukee battery powered box shaped vacuum, I could not get rats to go through longer than around 70 feet of conduit. Maybe M12 is stronger. I don't know. I've never used the M12. I've seen it, and I've seen people struggle to use it just the same as I struggled to use my DeWalt. It sucks because as an electrician, you're there before the power gets turned on. You're there because you need to make it where power can be on, right? And so you're not able to use as strong of tools and equipment because you can't use things that plug into the wall. And you need a big shop vac to really be able to get some power out of pulling string through a pipe. So you can't use a plug-in vacuum unless you drag a generator out there to plug it into. But anyways, I feel like unless you're planning on just pulling small runs, hopefully I can save you the trouble. I wouldn't mess with the small battery powered vacuums for pulling 100 feet. My opinion. But yeah, using it to clean, I mean, that's what I use mine for. I use that to vacuum out my truck. That's it's not a bad tool. It's just doesn't quite serve the function that we wish it could as electricians. All right, well, that was the end of this. That was the end of the stream for now. We will return to this later on. We do have the supercut episode so that people don't have to sit through the long-ass stream of a whole bunch of pausing and a whole bunch of philosophical diatribes and just getting to the meat of the content. That will be up at noon tomorrow. I've already got it uploaded. It's scheduled to release and go public at noon tomorrow. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. I know that the second episode of it got 92 views, whereas the first episode got 711, which it's okay. Apparently people are not quite as annoyed as I thought they would be. I thought this would be a subject that most people would sympathize with, but I guess not.
Too many pictures.
What?
Too many pictures.
Too many pictures.
we should actually clear off for each one. We should probably clear off the previous stuff.
I don't know, because that feels like that would be just like we're leaving behind too much. I mean, we could make a new one and then just add all the icons to the main one, but we still need a big conglomerate image that winds up looking like this giant like r/pixel r/place mosaic, you know, in 30 years.
My opinion on that is to take
have a good night, Abby.
For each one, take a screenshot after we're done, and then you just paste them all together as we go along.
Yeah, like tack them onto each other. That's a way of doing it.
Yeah.
Alright, so let me save this. Over base 1 template. Already exists. You want to replace it? Yes, I do. And that'll be that for tonight. Thank you, Abby, for stopping by. And Zindy, thank you as always for doing this. We'll have to do it again tomorrow. And Harley, you're muted and deafened, but appreciate you as well. Y'all have a good night.